Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerus, and today I'm playing a Monsters Dagon list, and it's actually a Shupe list made by a player called Haiku, and it's a really fun list. I think it's fairly competitive, but it is different every time you play it because it is Shupe. You don't have blacklisting during your mulligans, so it is a little bit different. And the one alteration that I've made to this deck is I put Corinthia in instead of Drought. I think Drought is quite good, but it's kind of hard to play on tempo, whereas Corinthia, it gives you a little bit more tempo in that play. Another alternative you could run in this slot is Muzzle, because that gives you good counters against decks like Greatswords, which can be quite common at higher MMR. So Dagon is our leader, and we're going to use him to play Fog, which will also pull the one Foglet out of our deck. Then we have Corinthia for Frost. We have Maruna, which basically wins games if she's not removed, and a lot of people kind of forget about her, so she's won me a lot of games. We have Gyels to help us find our gold cards, and especially to help us find our Shupe. So we have Shupe's Day Off, which will give us Shupe Maid, Shupe Hunter, Shupe Knight. And it's worth familiarizing yourself with the different options with each of these if you're going to play this card. For example, Mage, you can draw a card, you can charm an enemy, you can put hazards on your opponent's row, you can deal 10 damage to a unit with 5 to each adjacent unit. These are the kind of effects that it has. Shupe Hunter has Weather Clear, it has damage to individual units. Shupe Knight, you can duel, you can boost to 25, he has Resilience. There's different effects on each of these cards, and it's worth kind of familiarizing yourself with as many as possible. And then we have Frightener for card advantage. We can also use this to move units into weather. We have the Crones, and I always love an excuse to play the premium Crones, so this deck was right up my street for tempo. Neckarat will give us Moonlight. Alternatively, we can use this for Full Moon or Blood Moon. Full Moon to boost the Neckarat and kind of add an extra engine to the board and also clear weather. Blood Moon to deal damage to a stacked row. Osril we can use to eat things like the Frightener in our opponent's graveyard. Then on to our bronzes, we have Fiend, which is just a solid 11 points, and also goes into our graveyard, as does Cyclops, which we can use for removal, and Archgriffin for weather clear. These all synergize quite nicely with Ghoul, because Ghoul consumes a unit from your own graveyard, so this makes him, a 15-point play, for example. Alpha Werewolf, we play into the Moonlight for 12, and is also a 10-point play in and of itself. Drowner we can use to move units into weather. Arcaspore is an engine, so an extra engine like weather. Werewolf synergizes with Moonlight and is a 14-point play. It's also immune. Cockatrice, this reset actually comes in very handy sometimes, and it's worth being aware of that. You can use it to heal your own units as well as resetting your opponents. Then we have Wild Hunt Hound and Siren with Frost and Moonlight, which will give us more engines in terms of hazard engines and boon engines. So we're going to get points by damaging our opponent and points by boosting our own units. Siren can also be used to clear weather. And then we have Recon, which gives us bronze units from our deck. So that is the deck. It was made by a player called Haiku, and if you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like. But without further ado, we're going to jump into a ranked game and play this deck. Okay, so we got a Dagon Mirror. Fortunately, we do have Siren, which means we can clear some weather, but we also need to throw Biting Frost and Foglet. Now, I don't really like Algul early on because there's nothing in his graveyard, but if we mulligan this, we do risk pulling a Crone, so yeah, consider that. You could also have mulliganed the Crone there, because you can typically find Crones with Gyels, so mulligan and a Crone there would have kind of covered the eventuality that you might get another Crone. With that said, we have double Moonlight, so life is pretty good in that regard. He will know, though, that we have Moonlight, because we have, if we play the Werewolves. So we kind of want to think about this of whether we're going first or second. And I think if we're going first, the opening play is probably Crones, and just get them thinned out of the deck nice and early. Gives us a bit of tempo as well. The only problem is that if he weathers that row, we're going to have to then play Siren on that row, so that's a little bit awkward. But I think it's still the correct play.
I'd be your best and last.
He's likely to weather us, at which point we weather him. Alternatively, we could play the Siren and clear the... and thin the Moonlight out of our deck. And I do think you want to play Siren before Neckarat if you can, because this thins the deck and this doesn't. Similarly, you want to play Dagon at some point, just to get that fog out of there. Come on. We don't got all day. Fog me and be done with it.
Soul sisters, very soon.
What? Relics? Okay, this is strange. I should probably probably row stack, but at the same time I'm a little bit wary of things like Igni, and that would give them a 16-point Igni because these are both 8s. So you have to kind of think about these things. I'm okay with playing into an empty row because we can always use Drowner. Yells is going to give me either Frightener or Ozril. It's kind of going to be interesting to see which one we get.
Come to me.
Right, so let's clear this. And we can then Drowner something onto that front row, into the Wither. I do kind of also want to play these this turn, but because I have Necro, I don't have to. Like, it's good to play the werewolves into the Moonlight, but we have more Moonlight, so it's kind of okay. Gale's actually is going to give me, what, Shupe or Corinthia, and then Frightener or Ozril. Come on, I ain't got all day. And I do think we'd rather win this round. The problem is if it gives me, like, Shupe, Frightener, that's kind of awkward. Although we are 22 points up at the moment. Actually 24 because of the Moonlight. So if we can find a way to play Frightener for free, I don't hate it. But as it is... Actually, we're down 11, but we get +2 from Moonlight, so we're down 13. And Giel's gives me 1 point, plus we get fog damage. So we could play this and hope for Frightener.
Naivety is a fool's blessing.
No, we didn't get it. Maybe we play Shupe this round? We can commit Shupe and it's not terrible. I was hoping for Frightener, but it's not to be. But let's go Mage and then we'll try and get draw a card. Charm a random enemy, spawn random hazards, deal 10 damage. I guess let's just go with random hazards then. So you can't really play into any row. This is not terrible. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but I don't think it's awful. Is he making... He's making more fiends. Don't know what is going on here. Honestly, not got a clue. We're up quite a few. I'm gonna pass here, I think. The only problem is he might have relics. Like, he might have Crones. And Crones is a huge play. But we're still 4 more points up. We're on 23. And Crones is... Oh no, it'd be 26. So he would catch us with Crones. Does he have them though? I feel like he probably does have them because of relics. So maybe this pass wasn't smart because he did strengthen them. Yeah. Yeah, see, Crones was too many points. But that definitely was part of his strategy, was that big boy play. Maybe in a later round? I don't know. I don't know if the pass here was wise or not. I did know that the Crones were there, and I did know that they were too many points. Well, I would have known it if it actually worked out. And there's Frightener. Okay, this is interesting. I honestly think this hand is pretty solid. I'm just going to stick with it. If he plays a spy, we can play a spy. So let's do that. Ghoul is a solid draw as well. That's worth more than the value of the spy. He may just dry pass us here. In which case we probably play Recon just to thin the deck and improve the chances of drawing Corinthia. The thing is, we do want to stay ahead of him here if we can. So, depending on what our opponent chooses to do, we probably do want to play into this round. So we need to make 8 points. Well, technically we need to make 9 points. Although, from the look of things, he wants to play. The question is, do we play the engine? That's the thing. So what we could do is play Alpha Werewolf and then play Necrorat. But also, maybe it's just worth playing Frost. And then, like, he had the opportunity to pass and make the cards even again, and he's chosen not to. So we may as well just play an engine and start to get points on the go. I think this is smart anyway. I'm still wondering why he's duplicating Fiends in his deck. Like, that's confused me, the Neca Warrior play. And now I think we just want to try and stay ahead. If he doesn't pass here. Striga. That is not a value play. So we're getting 2 and he's getting 1. So we're actually only down 9. So if we play this, it puts us ahead. So now we just want to try and stay ahead, I guess. This guy is worth 11. This guy is worth... It's the biggest unit, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is worth... And there's a 13. So we've always got Osriel as an option. I'd rather not play him this round, you know, but still. Is he going to kill my werewolf? Rude. Oh, we can actually probably reset that with cockatrice. Would be quite fortunate. As it is, though, I think I want to keep value in the frost, so let's do this. This is looking like a Shupe deck. He's only played one of things, so maybe his big plat strategy is like, I'll play Shupe and win. I need to play Moonlight at some point. Moonlight is currently worth 5, 6, 7, 9. Moonlight is currently worth 9. But why would you run Neca Warrior? Still don't get that. Especially after strengthening your Alex. It's very weird. It's very weird. Okay. So you have 6 points of carryover. I don't need to play tempo here. So let's just get this on the go. So he's got carryover, which we can't do a lot about unless we draw... Even then, it's only 6 points. If we draw maybe Cyclops with the Recon. But I think we also want to play our werewolf this round, because otherwise we're not going to see value in it. I'm also a little bit scared of, like, this guy running Maruna. So we are still ahead. So if he passes, we get card advantage, which is good because it means our Maruna is less likely to get removed, because we'll get last say. He is pushing quite hard though, so I think we probably want to play Recon next. No, okay, so he's got more than one Neca Warrior, so it's not a Shupe list, which means it's probably a Nova list. So this is where we play Recon. Arch Griffin, or... I guess we just take the Arcaspore. Like, both of these options put us ahead. And there's no situation here where we're passing. Like, we just can't afford to do it. Fortunately, he's passing. Ah, and the Arcaspore... I mean, it actually doesn't matter because it resets. I was going to say the Arcaspore comes in hot, shooting the Resilient unit, but the Resilient unit's going to go down to 6 anyway. So we have card advantage and he has 6 points. I think the best draw here is... Actually, Cyclops is pretty good. Cyclops is pretty good. I like it. Because it gives us the option to kill anything that he plays that's a problem. So we have to go first. So let's play Ghoul. What is the biggest unit in here? This 13. There we go. Renew. Relict? Like it's the, what's it called, isn't it? Yeah. Weavers. I don't know what is going on here. I'm scared. Should be a 13 in here as well. Doesn't he have one that's resurrectable? Did I make that up? Oh well. Let's just eat this one. We up 25 at the moment, ladies and gents. The only problem is, like, Cyclops, I'm gonna have to kill something with it.
Just
so life is kind of awkward here, because these guys are both way too big. Cyclops might actually come back to bite me. Oh no, it's fine. I shall savor your death. And that's how you win. I told you, Maruna comes in hot so often in this deck. That was a really unusual deck my opponent was playing, though. Never encountered a deck like that before, so you just kind of have to play it by ear, really. Anyway, let's jump into another game and play this deck once more. Oh my god, everything is Dagon today. Okay, so, throw Moonlight. Throw Fog. Please don't give me a Crone. Oh, always lucky, always lucky. That was just a case of, like, having to mulligan. Like I say, you can mulligan Crones. It's not a terrible play to make. I guess we play an Outscore here. Or we could play Moonlight. But he might pass. So let's just play the Outscore. If he passes, it's totally fine. Also, I don't really want to play Moonlight until he's played Weather, to be honest. So the issue we have here is we don't have our Frightener. So we'd have to dry past this, but then we go into a long final round. Is that necessarily a problem? We haven't thinned our deck. So it might be. Like, we're not likely to draw well. Do I think I can beat him one card up, one card down? Maybe. It's just... I think we play into this round. I know this is a weird decision. Usually you just dry pass. But I think we have too many bricks in our deck to really warrant this sort of strategy, to be honest. Like, there's just too many dead cards. Then we can play this and try and find Frightener. No, this guarantees Frightener, actually. So we've got guaranteed Frightener. So let's just fog a row. He's probably, if he's got... I don't know why I picked that row, because he's going to move. That was a mistake.
Come to me.
But he's just gonna clear this with Dagon is the thing. But then we can play Neckarat, so it's probably fine. Lots of fog. How many foglets this boy got? Do we wanna... Maybe we try and high... I think we maybe try and high roll first for... There we go. Archgriffin. Because I've got more Moonlight, but I want to kind of force him to play more Weather first. Because ultimately you want the Moonlight to stay on the board. You don't want the clear skies to stay on the board, because that just clears the Weather. We'll see what he's got. If he's got more Weather, he plays it now. That's fine. Yeah, I don't think he has any more Weather, so let's do this. Kind of aware of these Rot Fiends. Let's do that. So we can drown or something into the fog. This is fine, because we've got more units to play. It's kind of gone into like a Death Wish deck now. I guess it's Dagon Death Wish with double Foglet. I'm still okay pushing this round, though. Like, worst case, we play Frightener. Oh, I need to play this Frost, actually. Let's do that. I probably should have played Cyclops there, actually. Because now he's going to start playing Griffins. See? Misplay. Let's just put that in his graveyard. Unfortunately, it gives him more 4s, but still. This situation is like meh, because we're just trying to drain the deck anyway. Cool, so that's the front row, so let's pull this guy in. I like how he's like, don't worry, the prize-winning cow will get killed by the fog. Like, nah. Don't be silly. But yeah, ultimately I think we can afford to just bleed him here. He can't hero pass us, because we're just going to win if he does that. Like, we're getting 4 points per turn. We probably can still afford to play Gales here. And then see what happens. And maybe just play the Frightener. So we draw into Shupe. Or we play... No, I think we keep Shupe for the final round. Let's do that. Because this guy can't pass, and then we have Algil Shupe final round, which is pretty much fine. Because I think he wanted a long final round, like he wanted me to dry pass this. And actually, we were always guaranteed Crones with our hand when I said, oh, maybe we should play into this, you know? So it's all good. Yeah, you can have your 6 points carryover, that's fine. I'm done here. But the weather allowed me to stay in that round without him getting too far ahead to the point where he could hero pass. So I think we're in a pretty tough position here. Maruna would be such a good draw right now. Ooh, Fiend. So we could mulligan this. We get Ghoul. Ghoul is good. Cockatrice is... I think Cockatrice is the only bad one. I'm gonna get Cockatrice now. And Ghoul's fine. So we'll eat this. And it's good to play this in this order as well, because then the Arcus War doesn't cause us too many problems. And then we'll eat this. Alright, what have you got? Is it worth 15 points? I don't think it is. I'm inclined to believe that it's not. No, it is. That's cute. That's cute. Let's just go Knight. And he can be a 25. There we go. Like, we were kind of more or less safe to play any sort of Shupe there. But we win the round nice and comfortably. And this is the thing with this deck, is you have a good long round and you have a good short round. Like, you know, that was Ghoul... It was kind of gross. It was Ghoul, Ozril, Shupe, which is such a good short round. But then in the long round, you have all this weather and all of this attrition. And that's why it's a fun deck to play. But it's also different every time. And you kind of have to be a little bit kind of wary of your bricks and stuff. Because, you know, there... We did thin our deck right down in the second round and opted to play into that, always having the option to then play that Frightener at the end, just kind of to see how it went. And against Deathwish, that worked really well. So apparently it's just a Dagon Fiesta today. But that is the deck, and shout outs to Haiku who did make it. Like I said, I switched the Drought, the Karathi Heatwave for Cranthea. I think Muzzle would probably also work in that slot, to be honest. But overall, I think the deck is pretty solid. I have experimented with a Monster Shupe deck before, but I went with more like Wild Hunt kind of archetypes and kind of Deathwish, whereas this is kind of a bit more like a little bit of everything kind of thing. So yeah, that's the deck. If you liked the video, maybe leave a like. Let me know in the comments below if there's any decks you'd like me to play and what you think of this deck and what you think of Shupe in general. Like, which faction do you think is the best for Shupe? You can find me on Twitter at Jaggerus and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jaggerus. Thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!